since you're already getting your nose all up in there, tell me how it is.
Dude, it's very interesting. Wow.
Interesting. What?
Like roasted chestnuts and oak. Super interesting. Wow.
Oh, you're right.
Right? Like roasted chestnuts, like Christmas time. Not that we ever roast chestnuts at the freaking house.
It's too hot.
So damn hot.
Although we should do that this year. That would be fun.
Be interesting. So,
Starlight Distillery, they
Starlight.
are based out of Indiana. I'm not too acquainted with the distilleries in Indiana. Are there any other big ones? I mean, I know Starlight's more on the craft side.
no, there's no big ones in Indiana.
It's a tiny one, right? It's Ross and Squid,
Yeah, old MGP.
which is the biggest distillery. It's the biggest distillery.
And like we
ever.
talked about too, like the IWC. Like they're making a bunch of whiskey, they're just not as well known.
I'm not familiar with that.
Or IJC.
IJC.
I think that's what I have to get up and look, but
Something like that.
anyway, they kind of took the model of like MGP. So they're making a metric.
Why Indiana?
Indiana borders Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
So,
Similar climate.
where MGP is literally right across the river. So there's a river that borders Kentucky and Indiana. So you just go across the river, and that's where MGP is.
Oh.
So same terroir, however you pronounce it. Humidity, heat, cold.
Which are all conducive to
humidity. Yeah, I said humidity.
making bourbon whiskey.
Yeah. So Starlight, so I went and grabbed this one because this is the first one and only Starlight I own. I got this a couple years ago. This is their bourbon finished in VDN barrels, which if you don't know, VDN is the Vin de Naranja. So it's like when we did the Lasso Motel. So yeah, this just isn't it's got some orange in it, but not as much as.
This, however, is part of the Terroir collection.
Yeah, this was interesting. So I saw this the other day.
114 proof, aged 4.5 years.
Yeah.
The secondary wood, so it's a finish.
Yeah, so it's finished bourbon, but so this whole collection is what they're doing is they're using secondary wood or secondary barrels from
Different parts of the world.
all over the world. Now this is a specs pick. The wood identification is called Papuk oak. Yeah.
And it's out of Croatia.
Which is in Croatia, so it's a local Croatian type of wood that grows there.
According to the handy chart on the back of the bottle, it claims that it's heavy on the tobacco, vanilla, baking spice, and toasted oak notes.
Yeah, so this is going to be very different than like a Woodford Double Oak or an Old Forester 1910 or any like the OKIs or the short barrels and stuff that we've talked about.
Which you noted early on because you couldn't help yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I really wanted to smell this.
It does smell like roasted chestnuts.
Yeah, chestnuts and a little drying oak.
I could see how that could be called a more general tobacco note.
Yeah. There's definitely a little bit of the light tobacco in there.
Lovely viscosity.
Yeah, the color's great for 4.5 years. I mean, I know you can't see it on the camera, but the legs on that for 115 proof is, the legs are when you put the glass up and you twist it around and you can see the viscosity of said whiskey. But yeah, I mean, so far the back of the bottle, other than, I got roasted chestnuts, but, baking spices, vanilla. But I really want to try it. So if I hadn't said it, which I know I did, but yeah, specs pick. So if you don't live in Texas, you probably won't find this particular bottle, but it was just sitting on the shelf,
Drink it.
Let's try it.
Drink it. Vanilla extract.
Yeah, good call. It's spicy though.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, still get especially towards the back, get a little of that chestnut.
Yeah, it's a little nutty.
But not
like Joe Bean.
Yeah, not the Jim Beam way. Not like roasted peanuts or...
That's right. Or peanut shells.
Yeah, this is really good.
That is quite a lot going on.
Yeah, like I said, I only owned one bottle of Starlight for whatever reason. We just don't see it a lot in Texas. I don't know why.
Also a little more on the expensive side. I believe this bottle ran you, what, 70?
Something like that. Which
for...
in 2026, number one, it's a store pick. Number two,
it's finished. Number three,
finished. So that's going to bump up prices because we've talked about in other videos. Finished bourbons always are a bit more expensive.
Sit on longer. It's a more complicated process.
Yeah.
You lose more of the whiskey because it sits in barrel for longer. So the angels take a little bit more.
Now, from what I understand about this, the barrels are just the barrels. Like it held no liquid before. But that's what I gathered by doing a little bit of homework.
So what the research showed, and what the attempt with this collection is to impart the characteristics of the wood specifically to
from the
Starlight's product.
From the region, yeah. And Starlight, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with Starlight. I've seen it for years on the interwebs, and people like the Starlight. They make good stuff. You said 4.5 years.
Probably a regular amount of rice spice content in their mash bill. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it's probably a 21, like a 21 rye or 23
as opposed to
rye. Well, you go in the Buffalo Trace world, their high rye bourbons are like 15 or 12. So, it's all dependent. But MGP they'll make like 36 rye. Where the mash bill is 36% rye, so...
I think we're right to guess that Starlight uses a middle range of...
It's definitely higher than Buffalo Trace, but I think everybody's higher than Buffalo Trace.
You trip outside, you'd find a higher rice spice mash bill than Buffalo Trace. I love how it starts off sweet with the vanilla extract, very condensed sweetness, and then it opens up into the oak tannins, the nuttiness.
Yeah, oak tannins, baking spice, that chestnutty nuttiness, like we talked about, not the peanut shell nuttiness.
It feels like it starts off sweet and then it gets tamped down by the stronger flavors, which is quite nice and quite impressive.
Like it's a nice like rise and then a nice subtle finish.
I would almost even compare it to like the palate expands out like that. That's the burst of vanilla extract, and then it condenses down to the chestnut. Chestnut with the baking spice.
This is super cool. I'm glad we bought it. Like that's awesome.
It makes me wish Starlight was more available. It goes to show how interesting the finished bourbon scene has been getting. I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it last year with Lassa Motel. We've been on the subject with regard to short barrel. This kind of thing is the future. Age statements and really cool secondary finishes.
Yeah, I mean, they really went outside of the box, because anybody can use bourbon barrels. Anybody can find used sherry barrels, used port barrels. This day and age, used honey barrels, used maple barrel, right? You can find all sorts of that stuff. But to go to other parts of the world to find wood and then to be able to combine your bourbon and make it into something just very different. It's really, really neat. Now, to be fair, I just opened this. So, my opinion on fresh cracks compared to letting it age or letting it get some air in it for.
Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it again in a couple weeks. See how it changes.
Yeah, we can do a revisit.
We could.
The video, a fresh pour.
Lord knows we don't have enough whiskey to cover.
There's not enough, Dad.
I think we're at 450
What
now.
if I want wings? Yeah, but getting back to this, very interesting. Very interesting. Now, for maybe the newbie, they might miss out on some of the intricacies.
Well, still for 70 bourbon, but still for 70, it's quite good. Even if your palate's not at the point where you can really appreciate all the greater complexities. Like this, I think is this would be an excellent middle range option. Mostly because the price is so reasonable. But like if you want to expand you want to stay in the bourbon world, but expand into something that's more interesting than what the legacy distillers produce. which is very straight, middle of the road bourbon whiskey.
Yeah, I think now too, since you mentioned the vanilla extract, I'm thinking like almost like a vanilla cream candy. On the nose.
Because they use vanilla extract.
Yeah, to make the candy.
That's right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't use vanilla leaf, it'd be...
Oh, the bean?
Yeah.
Yeah. They only do that in ice cream.
Yes, they do.
That I can't eat because I'm too fat.
He says that because he ate 1.5 cheesecakes for Father's Day over the course of like 4 days.
Yeah, I did. That was my treat. Yeah, very impressed. Like I said, not to be fair, this in particular is a Specs pick, which if you don't know, Specs is a giant chain in the state of Texas. But, like I've said on other videos too, if Specs are doing picks of this, then you might be able to find other stores in different states that are doing
like Total Wine or Benmo or what have you.
Yeah, where they're getting their hands on it, they're doing their picks.
That's right.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. Hope we see more Starlight Distillery. See more of Starlight Distillery.
See more of their products.
I wish they were easier to find in the
To be fair to this, I got in freaking Tennessee. I got that in Memphis, Tennessee. That's why I bought it, because I'm like, never seen it before. That was a couple, 3 years ago? 4 years ago, maybe at this point. So it's cool to see it in the state of Texas. Like I said, for a lot of people, you might look at this and be like, oh, this is just too weird.
Honestly, it's not. It's more interesting than it is weird.
Yeah. But I could see how, maybe if you were kind of new into the game, or maybe you had some finished bourbons and you're like, I don't know what the hell Papuk oak is, and I can't even find Croatia on a map. And I don't know what that's going to do.
Point being, trust the Starlights, the 2 bottles that we have, they haven't let us down once. And it's not going to be as sweet as, you said, the Woodford Double Oak.
Good, that's a very good point to mention. It's not going to be your traditional Woodford Double Oak, Old Forester 1910 sweetness. This is a bit spicier. That wood definitely plays with the bourbon in a different kind of way.
Definitely does.
But in a good way, I think.
Yes, I think so. And as we discussed before, as our palates have developed, we find that the just regular old double finished bourbon is sometimes a little too sweet. So it's more fun to have it tamped down by different wood finishes.
The rice spiciness, the chestnut notes in there, the vanilla cream candies in there that kind of come out after a little bit. Super good. And like you said, when we started, Woodford Double Oak and Old Forester 1910, although they're very good, just as we get more and more into this after years of doing it, your palate changes, and that's okay. And if you've had those before and you're looking for something different, but still on that same level, then
maybe ease yourself into Starlight.
Yeah.